So tonight for the Music Industry Club, Acoustic Basement Tour, we have Geoff of Thursday.
Hello.
Welcome, Geoff.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. Just first question, get it out of the way. How has the tour been so far?
Well, this is day 4. The first 2 shows were amazing, and then we went up against the Super Bowl yesterday in Syracuse, so that was it's pretty depressing.
You guys played the show at the same time?
Yeah. It was kind of funny to see like 40 people there in Syracuse, which is usually like a crazy great town for music. And they were all kind of like checking the TVs the whole time, like looking to the side and checking the game out.
It's hard to compete with Beyonce. I
I know, well, true. And how bad that football game was, apparently.
I guess so. So, any upcoming plans for releases or recordings after the tour?
Well, thing that I've done, which is mixtape 1, around a little before Thanksgiving, I put it out.
Very cool.
And I'm working on mixtape 2 right now. I've got 2 songs recorded for it. So probably sometime after this tour is done, I'll put it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If there are any artists you'd like to collaborate with, who would they be?
It's funny because like artistically, there are so many artists that I'd like to collaborate with. We toured with The Cure, and The Cure set up like a recording studio on the tour where they had everybody record. So there's like a track somewhere that's like us and The Cure and Mogwai and Interpol. And I always wonder what happened to that song because that's like sort of a dream collaboration that I've never gotten to hear. Like we recorded our parts, but I've never heard any of the finished stuff. So I'd love to hear that. Yeah, I know. I want to track that down. I guess probably like on a personal level, my friend Anthony Green from the band Circus Survive is probably my favorite person to collaborate with. I just really love him. He's like a brother to me. So, Thursday and Circa have always like collaborated on stuff, but I'd just like to do something with him, I guess.
That'd be really cool. I hope to see that. Any guilty pleasure music or artists that you like to listen to when nobody's around?
Well, it's not really a guilty pleasure, but like I really love R&B, and I especially when mainstream artists do something that's like a little bit more soulful than usual. Like, I do a cover of Usher's Climax. I just think like when Usher really digs deep, he's amazing, and I think The Weeknd has a few tracks that are good. Maxwell has some awesome stuff. So that stuff is really interesting. Like my ex-wife just was saying like, there's this Kylie Minogue song that you have to hear from like '94 that's so sick. Like you should cover it. And it's one of those things. Like I really trust her, and I really like a lot of my friends have this really like this thing that I love, which is that like they all will have grown up like going to Bad Brains shows or Black Flag or whatever, like stuff like that, but they're into like a good song is a good song. And that's something that I respect because I think like sort of like the pitchfork has like poisoned culture a little bit, where it's like you either are on the inside of what's cool or you don't know what's going on. And It's like, no, most people who love music actually know the difference between what's good and what's bad.
Do you wish more artists would delve out of their comfort zone sort of their genre and try and experiment a little more?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even like, it's sort of exactly what you said. It's out of their comfort zone because I don't even think it's like, I don't need like everybody to cross genre all the time, but I do feel like in every genre that you're in, there's like a set of rules that are put in place for you. And the best artists are the ones who disregard the rules, I feel like,
Definitely.
So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Let's get some goofy questions out of the way. If you could trade places with anybody in the world right now, who would it be?
Right now? Right now, I would probably trade places with, just for fun tonight, probably Ashton Kutcher, just because I feel like he's a pretty different dude than I am. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've never had as much fun as that dude has in my life. Like, he's just like sort of goofy and like, so like tonight, like for one night, I would like to trade places with Ashton Kutcher just to see how the other half lives.
Just make sure you knew where your car was before you switch places. If you were abducted by aliens, what would you do or say?
That's really funny. That's kind of goofy question, but there's this great episode of Radio Lab. Have you ever heard that show, Radio Lab?
No.
It's a WNYC show, and they have all these different topics that they'll cover for about an hour. It's a talk show, and there's this one on space that they did, and there's this really beautiful segment about Carl Sagan. There was a space program where they recorded a gold record that wouldn't degrade over like 1 million years. And the record has like every known language on Earth, like saying hello, and it has like people's heartbeats, recorded and all these like brainwaves and stuff. So probably, I guess, and they shot it into space with a rocket, so that like if there was other life out there, maybe someday they could reinterpret what was on this record. And so I don't know. I guess if I met an alien, I'd say like, yo, that record was pretty good, right? Wait till you hear the sequel.
Check it out. If you had treasure, where would you bury it?
I would probably give it to a squirrel to bury, because they can remember up to, I think it's 2,000 different hiding spots for nuts. So I'd be like, yo, spread it all out and remember it.
Put a tracking device on its neck, try and keep track of them.
That's the thing. It would have to be a really trustworthy squirrel, I think.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find trustworthy squirrels.
Oh, tell me about it, man.
What's one secret about you that nobody knows?
A secret about me that nobody knows. I don't know. I'm a pretty secretive person, so there's a lot. I'm trying to think which ones are safe. Which ones I can trust you guys with my secrets.
Give us a glimpse.
Yeah, let's see. Secrets. I really like to spray paint things that aren't like, I hate logos. So if I buy a pair of sneakers and it has like a logo on it, I'll like spray paint the logo black, or like a pair of jeans, I'll like spray paint the tag. It's just a weird, like, I used to think it was because I was like, oh, I'm a punk and I'm cool and I don't want like corporate things. But now I think it's like more of like like a slight like personality dysfunction where I can't stand to see logo. Like I'll be like, oh, it's a logo. Like, wait, can you tell that's a logo, or is that just a design? And that's what I always go over in my mind. Is that a logo or a design? Like, what's the difference?
And that just kind of became a habit.
Yeah, it's like such a habit that my friends are like, dude, did you just spray paint that new hat that you got? And I'll be like, yeah. They're like, oh, stop doing that. Like the other night I saw one of my friends and he was like, dude, I gave you that dope hat. Like, why?
You ruined it.
Yeah, it's a Supreme hat. It's like expensive just for the logo. And I'm like, that's why I had it.
You gave it your own flavor.
Yeah, that's right.
What's a typical day like on tour?
It's always different, man. I think like a tour is like you live a million different lives, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like at the same time it's like Groundhog's Day, where every day is the same. Like you repeat certain things every day. So like the things that stay the same are the most boring things. Like park the van, you unload the van, whether it's a bus or a van or whatever. So those are the things that repeat. But the things that are magic are like rolling into a town like Oneonta and like seeing like the Yellow Deli and like talking to people about like their organization. It just all the things that you can't predict. Those are the like those spice of life of tour.
Different faces everywhere and different stories.
Yeah. I mean, people who take that side of touring for granted are like not living life. Like to me, like we were talking about a few friends we have that are like, oh, I hate tour, it's so boring. And I feel so bad for them because it's like, well, man, I've been on tour for 15 years. If I didn't enjoy touring, I would really have a crummy life. You know what I mean? Like, So it's like, it's kind of what you make of it. You know what I mean?
You got to take the good of everywhere you go. Kind of got to stop and smell the roses every once in a while.
Because you get the bad whether you want it or not. So you have to learn to
not every show can be a good show.
That's right. And also just like, your transmission falls out. Like you pull your back, you get sick, you lose your voice. Like that happens whether you want it to or not. So if you're like ignoring the good stuff, then you really, really miss out.
No, definitely. Speaking of some of the good stuff, if you had everybody that ever supported you and your music in a room, what would you say to them?
I don't even think I could speak. I'd be like crying so hard because I've had so many people be so kind to me over the years in my band that I don't think I could handle seeing everybody together. It's just like been such a beautiful experience for me. That sounds really corny, I know, and like really so sincere, but like it's true. Like Thursday had the best fans ever, so it's like, and I know everybody says that, but like literally the kindness on a one-to-one human level that like our supporters have shown me, like there have been days when I swear like Thursday fans have saved my life. So
cliches are cliches for a reason.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I always say that.
I guess we'll just have one more question. Something big happened today. What do you think about the Fall Out Boy reunion?
Oh, I don't love that song. We listened to it today.
The new single with
them burning everything. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I was a hater. I'm going to be honest. Like, when they were around, I was kind of a hater. Like, I liked Patrick, and I liked his voice, but I just wasn't into the whole thing. But now, like, looking back at what came after Fall Out Boy, I feel like they're pretty good compared to, like, the band since then. So I'm kind of, like, interested to see what they do. I didn't love this single, but, like, I don't think that's necessarily indicative of, like, the whole record,
And just out of my own curiosity, what do you think of the whole there was no hiatus, we never broke up, even though they haven't put out a record in 4 years?
Oh, is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Do you think that's a valid
You know what?
point to make?
I think this is what I'll say about that is if they say it and they believe it, then it doesn't really matter what anybody else says because, like, people can have opinions on records, on songs, on, like, a tour, but nobody thinks about it more than the band that's doing it. Like, you live it. It's every day for you. So you generally, I feel like most bands make the choices that they believe in and can live with. Like, even if you think it's a sellout or a weird move, it's like, well, you didn't spend the last 3 months thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's like so easy to talk smack after like a day, you know?
But you can't really say anything until you take a walk in somebody else's shoes.
Yeah, like their motives for it are, they probably have a million different motives for it. So it's like if they said they never broke up, then they were probably keeping track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, is it everybody in the band?
I believe so.
It is? Like P. Wentz is in it
P.
and
Wentz is
everybody?
back and Patrick.
Oh, okay.
It's the 4 of them.
Well, then if it's all 4 of them, then it's like, yeah. Sounds like Fall Out Boy to me, I guess, you know?
Guess we'll have to wait and see. Thanks so much for sitting down with us.
Yeah,
Geoff.
thanks for having me.